Hey guys, Blue Boxers here, and we're going to go over Hades solo and how you build him, how you level up his skills. Go to Hades here. Oh, he's right there. So his abilities, we'll go over that first. His Blight. Hades' normal staff attacks apply a Blight to the enemy called apply a debuff to the enemy called Blight. This debuff stays on the target and can be refreshed if the enemy is affected by Blight. Each of Hades' other powers have an additional effect. Now the duration is 5 seconds. Very long duration. So death from below is a leap, so he goes underground. Hades descends into the ground and erupts from the below at his ground location, doing damage to all enemies in the area. If the enemy is blighted, they're also slowed, and it's a 40% slow at max level, so that's a really good slow he has. It does a considerable amount of damage, which is very good. Not very good early game, but it does quite a bit of damage when you get into the late game, and applies, again, that slow. Now, Hades silences all enemies in a cone, so very good cone ability. If the enemy is blighted, they are also feared, applies blight. So he has a 2-second silence and a fear, which is very, very good. Now, we're going to go into Devour Souls. Hades devours the souls of his enemies, dealing damage in a radius around him. And it's a very big radius, as you'll see in the gameplay after this. If the enemy is blighted, the enemy explodes, dealing damage to nearby enemies and healing your allies. Enemy gods only take 50% of the damage from this ability now. Unfortunately, that was a nerf to Hades. He was doing a tremendous amount of damage, so I understand that. Now, the description is actually kind of cut off here for some reason, but it has tremendous scaling and a tremendous amount of damage early game. As you can see, it has a lot of heal too. And his ult is probably, either the best or worst ult in the game. Once they get beads, this ult is clearly really very bad. Like, really bad. Beads completely counters this ult. So Hades calls to all enemy souls nearby, pulling them closer to him, doing damage every 0.5 seconds for 4 seconds. If the enemy is blighted, their protections are reduced. Hades also gains protections for the duration. Now Hades gains 80 protections late game and 40 protections early, so that's crazy. And he also removes 30 protections from the enemies if they're blighted. So blight is very, very important. Now the damage tick is very good, but again, this ult is completely countered by beads and needs to be buffed a little bit. Hades does need a buff, but besides that, we're going to go into the God Builder. Now, I was fooling around with a couple builds, but we're going to clear this. So the starter, when you're going into Soul Lane, you're going to want to pick up Bancroft's 2 and 2 health pots. That'll sustain you in lane and it will give you a ton of damage. Next, you're going to want to go into boots. Now, where are the boots? Yeah. You can go either into cooldown or reinforced shoes, and I'm going to go into reinforced shoes for this game because it gives you, mainly because of the crowd control reduction. The next item I go into is Spirit Robe, of course, gives you that cooldown reduction. And now, I think if it wasn't Hercules in the lane in this game, if you see it in the gameplay, I would have gone cooldown boots. In fact, cooldown boots are just good in general. But after that item, we're going to go into either Obsidian Shard. Go into Obsidian Shard here. So we have a lot of tankiness and a lot of damage because we have Bancrofts. So a lot of damage there. And then you can also go into Chronos Pendant if you want max cooldown. But Raw Tahuti just gives you a little bit more damage. Now, there's a lot of items you can go into as Hades, but Spirit Robe has to be one of the most core items in his build now. Spirit Robe is incredible for Hades solo. So just look to pick that up regardless. So that's how you're going to want to build him. Now how you're going to want to level him, go back to level 1 here. The first ability you're going to want to get is Devour Souls, into Death from Below for escape potential, into Shroud of Darkness for utility, into Devour Souls. Again, you're going to want to level up Devour Souls as much as you can, but get your ult at level 5. get Devour Souls again and again, and then go into Death from Below. Now, if you're taking too much damage, go into Shroud of Darkness. If you want more damage, go into Death from Below. Um, but as we're against Hercules here and we're dominating our lane in this next gameplay, you'll see in the next game, um, we'll go from Death from Below. Then we're going to level up Devour Souls so it's maxed, then our ultimate, then Death from Below again. And we're just going to keep leveling that up, level our ult. Our ult's very good, you don't want to skip it. And then Shroud of Darkness, your ult, Shroud of Darkness, Shroud of Darkness, and then your ult, of course. So this is what you're going to want to go. You're going to want to go Devour Souls for the damage. You're going to want to go from Death from Below for the damage. And Shroud of Darkness is, of course, a great Fear and Silence ability. Now, many people will say that you should be getting Shroud of Darkness second. Now, of course, it's all different, and every game is different. You know, you want to mix up your abilities to the best of their potential. Now, I was winning my lane, and I didn't need that silence for as long as it scales up to. Scales up to 2 seconds. I needed to stop his abilities for at least 1 second because I was comfortable with it. And Death from Below gave me a lot of damage so I could pressure him, and it gave me a really good slow. So that's how you're going to want to level up Hades, and now we're going to go into the gameplay. Hey guys, Blue Box is here, and we're doing a Hades solo video. Now, we're going to be going over how to play Hades, his meta, and where he strives, you know, and how he, you know, comes into a team setting. Now, Hades is a mid and early game champion. He is not a late game champion, and your job is to, you know, control the early to mid game, and then let your team carry you through the late game. Now, my starter items are going to be Bancrofts as the start with 2 health pots. I looked over all the other items, and Bancrofts is just a better, you know, better start. It gives you so much damage and so much lifesteal, and him and Anubis are really the only ones that can run it, but it does a tremendous amount of damage. I go 2 health pots because even though I have a ton of damage, my early game health is terrible. Anyway, so we're going to go into what you think, you know, what you want from a champion, and what you want from a champion is a spike in certain realms of the game that you have a lead and so you can get gold. Now, you know, Hercules, this is my matchup. Hercules is a, you know, almost all-round champion. He does well almost everywhere besides maybe early game, but if you get invade, he can do really well. But his damage early is incredible. So he's actually very strong in any sense of the game, but Hades is just stronger in the early and mid game if you play him right. Now, I don't have Hog, so we're going to have to look for, you know, an early invade. If they do, we're screwed. Which they should early invade, but my damage is huge, so I'm not really that worried about it. But regardless of that, we're going to do speed buff as the normal start. We're going to go speed buff to blue, and you know, we'll see how that goes. Now, I might do another video of how you play Hades late game, but your job is to win the early to mid game. You're not there to carry late game. Late game, you are a silence, and you are perhaps a good ultimate. If you land a good ult and no one has their beads, you can win a game with that one single ultimate because it's so powerful if they don't have beads. But anything else, not really. Your damage starts to fall off. But you can still be a tank and a front line champion, you know. So it looks like Mercury went for an early, you know, gank on mid lane, so I call out missing left and be careful middle. But he came around the safe way. I'm not sure why he didn't stay in the lane. I'm not sure how the jungle meta is changing if you want to leave solo, but I use my 1 to get under his driving strike to dodge the damage. I'm just hitting him autos here just to poke him out. Now he used his driving strike very, very aggressively, so he can't clear the wave unless he uses Hog here, and his Hog's down from doing blue buff. So that's great for me. Now, I'm going to land autos as much as I can. Your autos apply your passive, of course, and they're really great for for just doing little bits of poke damage. Um, Now he's really low in tower, so that's really good for me. Hades strives at winning his lane, and that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take as much gold from the enemy soul laner as possible, so he has the hardest time to getting to late game. Um, that's really your job, and I'm gonna hit as many autos here as possible. I'm poking him out a lot. Um, he uses my 1 to apply blight to all the minions. Unfortunately, he hogs the melees, so they go kind of in the opposite way. But he's going to look to go aggressive with me here. I'm not sure why he didn't do more damage there, because he has Death Toll, and Death Toll start, you're going to want to hit autos as much as possible. And here he goes. So I'm taking a little too much damage, not very comfortable with that, so I silence him away. But I can heal off the wave really well, and I popped a health pot. So just gonna heal the wave, and it heals your minions. A lot of people don't realize that Hades' heal is an AoE, so it actually heals friendlies. I'm gonna pop my ult here just to do an insane amount of damage, considering I knew his driving strike was down. He's about a quarter health now, and I'm landing a ton of autos, so he's getting poked out a lot. He's gonna need to back, or he might die to my pure damage, you know? Just land as many autos as possible. He popped a mana pot. He used his ult to clear the wave, which is very good. I silence him, but unfortunately the ability still goes off, and he gets those minions. You really want to deny minion gold on your solo. Now I'm just going to kill these with autos here. It's good to know when to use your mana, and I know a wave's coming, and I can clear the wave considerably with the 1-3 combo. So it's good to know how to use your mana. Drop in here. He's gotten shielded teleport, so I'm just going to back off here. Now, Hercules makes a really bad misplay. Considering he hogged the wave, he should have stopped me from backing and wasted my time, but he didn't. So I get a free back with Bancroft's Talon finished, and I get teleport done. So this is really good for me. I have teleport done, and just going to teleport into my wave as well. You're there to win your lane. You're there to stop them from getting a ton of gold. And the Jaw's here for another weird gank. I silenced him out of his driving strike. Popped my 1. My ult wasn't ready. I think he thought my ult was coming off, but it looks like Mercury might. Yeah, Mercury ults in, and they try and get a kill on me. I silence Mercury and try and get my 3 off. I dash out of the way, or dash out of the tower, so I don't take as much tower damage, and I get out pretty easily there. Sorry if I drop frames a little bit, you guys. OBS is acting up a little bit today. I'm not sure why, so sorry about that, but we're just going to get autos as much as we can, and we're going to place our 2 wards here. 1 ward aggressively on their blue buff, and since we're kind of low on mana, we got to be careful this wave, but he just ults it. Because he doesn't want to look to go aggressive on me anytime soon, I suppose. And I just get full clear with my 3. Now, Jean wants me to rotate over, so I'm coming over. I'm going to level up my 1 and not my silence here, because I want a lot of damage on this Hercules. I want him to lose a ton of his lane. Hercules plays really poorly from behind, so Hades is actually not that bad against Hercules. Now, I know the whole wave's here, so I'm going to pop my ult and get a ton of damage off on him. Get autos off. The archers are hitting him as well. And I'm just going to auto him to death. Land ADC. Hades ADC, boys. It's happening. It's happening. I believe in it. Anyway, we're going to go into reinforced shoes for the crowd control reduction, and that's basically it. I'm going to look to build Magi's in the late game if we get there, but if we don't, that's perfect for me, because I am an early to mid game champion. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but, you know, people have the wrong perception of the game, perception, I mean. They think just because a champion's early to mid game they're bad. Well, it's not really like that. If he's made for early to mid game, you use it to the full potential, and you get ahead, you can either force a surrender or force objectives and get crazy amount of gold ahead to where it doesn't matter if you're an early, like, mid-game champion. You're doing so much damage from the new items you got ahead of the other soul laner. You know, it's crazy. Now I think Hades is a little bit better in this meta, just because Spirit Robe's an item, and Spirit Robe's really, really good on Hades. It gives you a cooldown, and you'll see in my build that it does a lot of work. It gets you really tanky. Now I've tried that new active. I'm not sure what it's called, but I'll show it in the items list. If you looked at the beginning of the video, I talked about it. I tried that new active, and it's okay. It's not really worth it in my opinion, though. Doesn't give you enough pressure in team fights. But we're just gonna clear the minion, and my team got Gold Fury, which is really good for me. Again, getting more and more ahead, and I'm not letting Hercules rotate. And I just popped my ult to clear the minions and to get a little bit of damage on Hercules. And he has to use Hog against the soldiers there. Now he lost every bit of gold from that wave besides the big minions. He's looking to go aggressive on me, but that's not a good idea considering I'm landing almost every auto on him. And popping my 3 to get heal off and consistent damage. Now this is where I kind of try and stall the lane out a bit. I know I have a ton of pressure on him, and he's not going to have any of that. So I'm going to pop my 3, heal the wave, and I'm going to pressure him out with autos. I can't say how important landing autos as Hades is. You have to know where to position them, and his Blight is very good ability. Amplifies every single ability in this kit, which is just crazy. Besides his silence does apply Blight. It's good to know that. Yep, we're just gonna take the Reinforced Grief and go into Spirit Robe here and get another ward because we don't have any wards on the left side of the map. Now it looks like we're half health on their enemy soul lane tower, and my Anubis excuse me, is doing really, really well. Now we have a very early game team, so it makes sense that we're completely dominating this game right now. I'm going to pop my ult for extra damage because I know he used his driving strike, gets him to about half health, and I just auto him down even a little bit more, use my 3, silence him just to get a couple more autos off. He hogs the archers, so I know his hog's down. I'm just getting as many autos as I can. Keep applying that Blight, keep applying pressure. I go in aggressively with my 1-3 combo. He has to use driving strike out, and then I force him to use his ult on the wave. Now, he's going to lose complete gold from that big minion there. Unfortunately, big minions actually don't give you more gold. They're exactly the same amount of gold as everything else. Now, that was a bad ward by me, but, I mean, whatever. I can make it a little bit of a mistake. Gives me a split second to react to a Mercury gank. That's why I don't like that ward placement, but it's very, very defensive. Allows me to go in a little bit. Now he's going to get a little bit of damage on me here. You can see Hercules even when behind. With this tower, he does a crazy amount of damage. So he's going to lose 1 minion of gold there. He's going to lose 2 minions of gold. Looks like almost 3 minions, but I get targeted by tower. Yeah, 3 minions of gold. He lost a ton of gold there, and you have to pressure that. He almost lost an entire wave of gold there, just because of my pressure. Now he has to back up, so I'm going to clear the wave with my 3, and put a point into my ult, and I'm just going to back here. I'm not even going to try and do my blue because it's going to take too long. I'm going to go into Cloak of Concentration, almost at full Spirit Robe, and get my mana back for the lane. Now, once Spirit Robe's done, I will be able to rotate. Once Teleport Towards is done, I'll be able to rotate and capture objectives for my team. We're a crazy amount of gold ahead, and as you can see, we just dominated our lane, and we've won our lane with the first tower going down. So that's really good. Now you can see, even though I'm not building a crazy amount of damage, my damage is insane right now. I'm not even building a third item into damage right now. I'm building pure cooldown and defense. Now you don't want to do that late game. You want a little bit more damage. I come to rotate in the mid lane here. Ares gets a pretty good ult, and Anubis finishes the kill on Ymir there. Now, I get an okay ult. It forces him back. I silence Hercules to get him away from my really, really low Anubis. I know Hercules doesn't have his ult up because he, he used, he used his ult before, so that's really good. I'm gonna go rotate into the right lane and look for a good gank here. I'm gonna silence Osiris to, keep him at bay. I'm gonna land as many autos as I can. Back up from the little bit of damage I'm taking. Pop my 3, but Mercury gets a really good juke here. Pop my 1, and he almost dies, but he dashes out at the last second. So really good play by the Mercury there. I'm gonna silence the wave, get a lot of heal off. I'm gonna juke as many abilities as I can. Ares is staying with me, which is really good. I'm getting autos on the minions, so I get more heal. And I almost pick up a kill on Ymir there, which is really, really good. But I don't go in too much. Now I'm gonna back, and I'm gonna go get teleport to wards, which will really help my ganks. I pick up 2 wards by accident here, and then I realize there's a team fight going on the right side of the map, so I sell the wards, and I go to shielded teleport, and I rotate over, so I can pick up a kill on Osiris and force Hercules out at the same time. And now we pick up Gold Fury for free. I say attack fire jump by accident, but we're doing Gold Fury. It's a lot safer. Pop my ult just to do incredible amount of damage. We want this as fast as possible. Yeah, we pick it up very, very easily there. Gonna do mid camps, and that's gonna be the game because they surrender. So GG, and I hope you guys like the stats. We'll go over how this game would have gone out later on if it lasted a little bit longer. So we're gonna go over to that. Hey guys, we're at the stats, and look at the build we went with and how it paid out for us. Now, I went Bancroft's talent for the damage early, and I went reinforced shoes for the 100 health, 30 crown control reduction, 18% movement speed, and of course a little bit of magical power. Now, I would have, in consideration, I didn't realize that cooldown boots are so amazing right now. So I would have gone cooldown actually. So go cooldown next time into Spirit Robe. That'll give you max cooldown, which is really, really good. Now the next item I would have gotten might have been Obsidian Shard, or I might have rushed Raw to Hoodie for place, damage. But you're going to want to get tankier after this, so Obsidian Shard into maybe Midgardian Mail, and then a Rada to Hoodie would probably be my last item. Yeah, maybe Raw to Hoodie, Midgardian Mail. You'll see how it works out for you late game. But I did 10,379 damage. This is a little below the Anubis that did really well that game too. And I was the most farmed in the entire game. 631 gold per minute. Way better than the Anubis that, was doing incredibly well. What was his score? 7-2. So I was ahead of a 7-2. I farmed incredibly well. Did more tower damage than anyone else in the game. Healed my teammates by just a little bit, but whatever. And I was tankier than my Ares, so took more damage. And I just did really, really well. Did not die. So I hope you guys liked the game. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe. I'll link my Twitter down below if you want to follow that. Comment down below what you want to see next, or what's your favorite solo laner. What's your favorite solo laner? I'd be very interested to know. If you like this video, again, just make sure to let me know what I could do better, or how much you liked it. So I hope you guys liked this video. Blue Box is out.